In Johannesburg, South Africa, businessman and entrepreneur Peter Bailey has established Bailey Cars, specialising in the restoration of classic Porsche 911s and the iconic Porsche race cars such as the Porsche 917 and the Ford GT40. Let's have a look at how this company has become world-renowned as a first-class car builder and restorer. Peter Bailey has been a race car competitor and enthusiast for over 25 years, competing and winning in many classic race car events, and then directing that passion into a business which helps Porsche owners have the car of their dreams. Peter's team of restorers have the ability to do a frame-up, full nut and bolt restoration on a client's car. This can encompass taking the car back to bare frame and restoring the bodywork, chassis, and a full replacement of damaged or rusted sections of the body. These facilities also include a comprehensive spray paint department, able to paint clients' cars in any of the original numbered colours for that specific model, to ensure model originality and a perfect finish. Right through to the full electrical and mechanical rebuild of the car. Peter also takes focused care to keep all parts and components from the customer's original cars in their special parts shelf to ensure every part is returned to the right position in the finished product. Let's hear how Peter uses the original Porsche parts catalogue and manuals to ensure every switch, nut, bolt and component is purchased or replaced with the manufacturer's specialised part to make sure the car is of classic concourse original standards.
So the hooter was part number 1, there it is. So they give you a Porsche part number, 901635, okay? And that was the year that it was used on up to 1968, and typically in the coupe versions. And and there's a few different Porsche part numbers, Bosch part numbers. So when we restore it, there's no argument. It says, well, you've got a 68 car, and that's the part number. You can't, you know what I mean? So that's it. There's no questions about it. And on it goes. Let's say the indicators. So the indicator for a where's the bigger number is number 1. So we look at part combined switch with picture. That's the part number. It's up to a 67, so it gives you a correct year model. And then further down, there's a 68. So that switch will be different to that switch. You know, and that's how you do it. So he tells me he wants it original. We got the book, and that's it.
And fortunately today, we saw a perfectly finished 911T leaving for its customer today.
An occasion. This guy commissioned me to do it. It was a real basket case. And so yeah, it's a 911T, 1971. And it's going 1,500 kilometers to its owner in Cape Town.
Wow.
So that is nut and bolt restoration. Every single thing. The engine's probably only done 100 kilos on it. Make sure the windows are closed.
Like for many of the classic race car teams around the world today, who Peter has built a Bailey's 917 race car replica for, Peter has built his own personal Porsche 917 replica race car in the famous blue and white colour scheme of the 1970 Richard Atwood and Hans Hermann Porsche 917, which he has raced to the podium on many occasions. It has been constructed from the highest level in computer design parts, all based off the original Porsche blueprints, with today's modern safety and mechanical technologies. Let's hear how Peter builds his race cars with the latest in laser cut carbon steel space frame, laser cut aluminium panels, A complete welded roll cage ensuring the chassis is identically looking to the original and 3 times stronger.
It's all first of all drawn on the computer using one of these fancy SolidWorks programs, and then so this piece has got a number on it somewhere over here. So that says G4, meaning it's a GD40 and it's number 4. And then so this is laser cut and 3D laser cut, and so that piece can only go on one section on the chassis. And where it is, I don't know exactly, but you know. So then this thing gets assembled and all just tacked together. And look at those joints in, and you can only get a good joint like that before welding if it's a machine cut.
Right, that close.
So you can run a little bit of filler material down there, and that thing is good as ever.
Yeah. And start again. This is the jig table. That's
the jig table for an 917. Got a bit of shape on it, but underneath there is the 330 components that would make up a 917 chassis. They've all been laser cut. They've all been laser cut exactly as per the drawings.
Wow.
I'll still say, so let's say it picks up. I'll just get to a certain section.
Yeah, whatever you wish.
So this is the isometric view of the rear crash box. So he knows part number 160 is next to 165. So he can assemble this section on the jig table using those components.
Wow.
And each one's got a part number, and it can describe it roughly. So he says it's a 34 mm round tube, so he knows, or rectangular tube, so he knows, well, you got to put each one's got an extra part number, but he knows generally won't go these are 34. If he makes a mistake, well, but that will only fit on the jig table in that sequence. And if you go to another part section, so and then there's a description of how the engine bay left hand side is assembled. Find part number 89. Go to the left side of the engine. So you do have
some type of guide
for the thing. So then over here, so that's the engine bay. That will be the engine bay house laid up with the different part numbers. There you go. Right. Excellent. The chassis is first TIG welded on our chassis jig. So TIG weld is all the joints are particularly TIG welding. There's no grinding, and from there the aluminium panels get pre-fitted. And then when they all fit nicely and riveted on with epoxy and rivets, then it gets taken apart and powder coated. So the whole chassis is powder coated and all the aluminium panels. And after that it comes back, and we've now been assembling this for a few days. You'll see the foam insulations going in. This already put the gear mechanism in, the seatbelt mounting points. So all of it's start to go.
So just having the wood makes it so authentic.
And it was, you know the story?
Yes,
It was.
I remember the story.
I've copied this identical, the same.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
because I've watched the historic videos of how they made the 917, and that was one
I preferred it with a leather glove.
Yeah.
And on wood without varnish or anything, and so that's quite important. This particular one, the body's already been fitted. So we do all the dirty work first. It comes off, it's been fitted, so then the body goes away to the paint shop, and then this chassis after powder coating, we assemble. You can almost drive the whole car before the body goes on.
Oh wow.
And so in this case, so we already pre-fitted the body. The body's been painted, come back from the paint shop. Some of the electrics are gone in, the engine's in.
So just to clarify, when you say you pre-fit the body, you make sure the body fits the chassis.
Yeah, and all the gapping is done and all the dirty work. So when you get to this point, you shouldn't have to pick up a drill and drill anything, and the potential of scratching the finished paint.
Right, correct, that makes sense.
And you want to make the door gaps correct, and then everything is opening and closing nicely. But you know, everything, so it's when you go to paint shop, it's pre-fitted. Okay, go.
also builds the Bailey's GT40 replica with painstaking detail and perfection. Constructed from carbon steel and aluminium, a rear-mounted V8 of your choice, with full leather interior and the latest electronic systems and gauges. Peter has the flexibility and expertise to take on bespoke car build requests from clients, such as the rare and classic 33 sports car replica. Peter spends months researching the car's shape, construction, chassis and body structure, to then build the car in the old-fashioned handmade classic way of coach building the metal into the perfect body shape from lightweight aluminium.
They only made about 12 of them. Wow.
From these stages of construction, each section of the car will be reproduced to reflect and honour the original grand design made by Alfa Romeo, and give the client that special bespoke one-of-a-kind sports car replica. So if you're needing that full frame-up restoration on your special Porsche 911, or wanting to buy and race your own 917 Porsche-style replica race car, or add a classic GT40 replica to your stable, Peter Bailey's Cars in Johannesburg, South Africa is the man to see. I was very fortunate to have the opportunity to drive a Bailey 917 and feel the power and build quality of a true classic 917 Porsche replica style race car.
His lifelong ambition to drive a 917, so he's flown out here to drive, yeah. Tertius just got him in. What we're going to do, give me, what do you reckon?
Unbelievable.
Hey?
Absolutely.
Tell us what do you think of it, in a 917?
Better than I ever imagined.
Hey? Super.
Just unbelievable.
Excellent.
Brought tears to my eyes.
And, yeah, fantastic.
Fantastic.
There we go.